TMG Nation, what is going on? Insomnia from the Mexican Gamers channel. Welcome to episode 2 of my Q&A series. A Q&A series which I think finally has a name, and we finally decided on a name after thinking about it for about a week. And I think it's gonna be Preguuntame, Preguuntame. So yeah, man, I hope some of you bros get the reference. If you don't, that's a little quote that a Mexican actor known as Eugenio Derbez. He's not really a comedian, he's more like an actor, and he does little funny skits and stuff like that. So yeah, man, that's, if you don't know who he is, I guess you can Google him, Eugenio Derbez, and he's the one who came up with that. And I thought it would be, some people will get it, because someone last week left it in the comments, you should name the series this, and I had already been thinking about it, because I was just gonna name it Preguuntame. But then I remembered Eugenio Derbez's quote, which was Preguuntame, so yeah, man, I think that's what the name is gonna be. Preguntame means ask me. It translates to ask me in English. So ask me, preguntame, same thing. So all right, here we go with question number 1. Oh, by the way, if your question doesn't get answered in this episode, it doesn't mean that I'm never gonna answer it. You know, I'll still go back from episodes in the past, and I'll pull some questions from there and stuff like that. So if I didn't answer your question from the last episode, doesn't mean that, you know, I'm not gonna answer it ever. I promise you I will probably go pull some more from that episode and stuff like that. There was a lot of questions from Liga MX, from football, so I couldn't put them all in this episode because it would have been just a you know, football podcast or a Liga MX podcast. So I only chose 2 because there was a handful of them, and I couldn't choose all of them, and I can't answer all the questions. I would be sitting here for 30 minutes. So let's go on with the first one. Lopez Cruz 81 asks, who is your favorite Call of Duty YouTuber? Well, I gave this some thought, man. I gave this some thought. That's a very good question. And I guess this person wouldn't classify as a Call of Duty YouTuber, an exclusive Call of Duty YouTuber, but I mean, I enjoy watching his Call of Duty videos, and pretty much every other video he makes, whether it be NBA 2K13 or, you know, even The Walking Dead, this new Walking Dead game. And that is Chris Move, man. Chris Move, I don't know, man. I really enjoy his videos. He puts a lot of quality into his content, and you know, that's the book that I try to use it. I'm not really a book, right? But I use the same, you know, kind of rubric to my standards. I want to put quality stuff out. And, you know, if that means not putting videos out every day, then that's what I'm going to do. So, yeah, Chris Move is, I guess, he's not only a Call of Duty YouTuber, but he does put some Call of Duty videos. Not as much anymore, but, yeah, it's Chris Move, man. So, the next one comes from Francisco 102400, and he asks, what's your name? Hope you can answer it. Well, I gave this one a little bit of thought, and there was actually like 2 or 3 comments in the last video that asked the same thing, what's your real name, stuff like that. And I give it a little bit of thought because, you know, I understand most people on the internet are normal people. You know, they won't go looking up your address or anything like that. But, you know, I said, well, I mean, because it's happened to other YouTubers. I'm not putting myself in their level. I know they're a lot bigger YouTubers than me and stuff like that. But, you know, you can never be too safe, right? Too careful. So, you know, I said, oh, I'll just give my first name, and then, you know, it shouldn't be a big deal. So my first name is Jose, man. I know, super, you know, I guess stereotypical. It's super common in you know, I guess Hispanics or Mexicans to name their kids like that. But I guess my parents decided to name me that, and yeah, I gotta live with it, and I don't mind it at all. You know, I don't mind it at all. Obviously, I'm happy of who I am and my name, and I'm proud of it, and this and that. So I mean, yeah, that's my name, bro. Hope you are happy, because you said hope you can answer it. So I answered it. Thanks, man. All right, let's move on to the next one. The next one is from Luis Hernandez. He asks, are you thinking about getting Battlefield 4? And my answer to you, buddy, Luis Hernandez, is hell yeah, man. Of course, I'm thinking of getting Battlefield 4 after seeing that 17-minute gameplay footage and stuff like that. That, you know, so many YouTubers got invited, or not so many, but so many people were posting that, you know, commentary over that gameplay. You know, I watched that thing like so many times, and you know, I like it, man. It looks really good. I assume it's gonna be on the PS4. I plan on getting the PS4. You know, I don't know about the Xbox. I know it's gonna be on the next gen consoles. That's what I mean. But I don't know if I'm gonna get the Xbox, you know, this year, because I'm gonna get the PS4 first probably. But yeah, I'm really excited. It's looking really good. Like I said, I'm kind of bored with the current shooters, so I'm looking forward to something new. And you know, what better than Battlefield 4? Those you know, amazing amazing graphics with the super intense gameplay on a next-gen console. Nothing better than that, I assume. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna get it for sure. So let's move on to the next one. Misfits G17 asks, I'm sorry if I pronounce your username wrong, boss. He asks, what do you think about Vela refusing to play for El Tri? Possibly problems with Chepo. Do you think he'll play in the upcoming Confederations Cup or World Cup? This is actually a football question about, you know, Fútbol Mexicano, stuff like that. Like I said, I'll answer 2 of them this episode. There was too many to answer, you know, this episode. So yeah, this is one of them. So about Vela, man, I think it's a shame that whatever problems he may have with the coach, with certain players in the team, it's a shame that, you know, Mexico, the country, you know, us fans of El Tri, you know, have to, I might be exaggerating, but suffer from it. I'm using quotes here because we're not really suffering, obviously, but, you know, because Vela is certainly an asset to Mexico. It would be an asset to have him with the Mexican national team. If there's something we're missing is a play creator, and that's exactly what he's doing, man. I mean, Chicharito, he's a striker that you know, you have to feed him the you know, balls. You have to feed him because he's not gonna create too many plays for you. He's really not. And Vela, you know, someone like Oribe Peralta, Marco Fabian, those type of players, they're the play creators. So Vela would certainly be an asset to it. I don't know if he's having problems with Chepo. That's the rumor, and that's probably what it is. That's what most you know, sports analysts, that's what they think it might be. Problems with the coach. That's the most logical thing. You know, he's probably having problems with the coach, but I really don't know. Do I think he's gonna play in the upcoming Confederations Cup and in the World Cup? Yes, I do. I think they're gonna talk it out. Because, you know, after Mexico tied with Jamaica at home, tied with the United States at home, you can't, you know, you need, it's obvious that the team needs something in the offense up top, because the defense is doing fine. The offense needs something. Vela is that person, and I think they'll talk it out and he'll end up coming back. I hope at least. So yeah, I hope I answered your question, boss. So the next one comes from Rabbit250. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. If I don't, I apologize. And he asks, what part of Mexico are you and your family from? Yeah, that's actually a pretty good question, because most, you know, my parents and pretty much my tios, my tias, my aunts and uncles, my grandparents, everyone from both sides of the family is pretty much from this place in Mexico. I actually, you know, myself and my brother and sister weren't born in Mexico. We were born and raised here in the United States, but we used to live in a border town for like 20 years of my life, or 19 years of my life. We lived in this border town, so we would go to Mexico every single weekend to visit my family, because I have so much family over there. And that is my family, pretty much, to answer your question, is from Coahuila. They're from Piedras Negras, Coahuila. I don't know if you know that city, but I'm pretty sure you know the state, Coahuila, Torreon, Coahuila, you know, that, just to name a city, a popular city from that state. And yeah, from Coahuila. Like I said, I wasn't born there, but I feel like a part of me was raised in Mexico as well. You know, I've said it before, man. There's like nothing before all the insecurity and stuff like that in Mexico, which, you know, it just saddens me. You know, I used to really like, as a little kid, I used to really like staying over at my grandma's house. And I would say, man, I say it like, there's nothing like the mornings in Mexico. I remember the mornings, you know, waking up in the morning in Mexico, you know, the birds chirping, you know, nice weather, and just this feeling that I would get, you know, when I would stay over at my grandparents' house in Mexico. I don't know, man. It was just, it's a really nice memory that I have. And yeah, man, I don't know. Thanks for taking me down memory lane, and I hope I answered your question, which I think I did. But let's move on to the next and final one, and this one is from JuanRa247, and he says, how much wood could a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Well, my friend, according to Siri, a woodchuck would chuck as much wood as a woodchuck could chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood. Bam. So, yeah, man, I don't know. I actually don't have an iPhone, but I know that's how Siri answers those questions, because pretty much all my friends have an iPhone. My sister has one. I'm actually really happy with my Samsung Galaxy S2. I want the S4 so bad, man. I want it so bad. It looks beast. But I'll probably get it later. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all the questions we had, man. Or that's not all the questions we had. Those are the questions that I chose for this episode. Again, if I didn't choose your question, it doesn't mean that I'm never gonna answer them. I'll probably go back to the previous episode, and answer some of those questions. So if you leave a question and I don't answer it, there's still a possibility that I might answer it. So leave your questions here in the comments down below. This was some Modern Warfare, no, Black Ops 2 gameplay. Again, the gameplay is irrelevant for this series. Sometimes it'll be FIFA, sometimes it'll be Black Ops 2, sometimes it will be Battlefield 3. It doesn't matter for this series. So yeah, leave your questions in the comments below. Hit me up on Twitter, hit me up on PlayStation Network if you have me on your friends list, and you know, leave some questions. I'll answer them. Again, if I don't answer them, there's still a possibility that I might answer them in a future episode and stuff like that. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you really guys enjoyed this episode number 2 of Preguuntame, and I'll see you guys later. Peace out, bros, and as always, take care.